Hi, everyone who's ever is watching. I just wanted to come on and I wanted to share my experience with having my femur and my tibia removed after 20 years having them in there. So I just wanted to share my experience. Right now, I am 2 weeks after surgery. Actually, it's about almost 3 weeks. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks after surgery. So I wanted to share this because I didn't really find a ton of really useful information when I was looking to get my rods removed. Also, I wanted to share this experience because I was hoping that maybe it could give a little bit more insight into the possibilities of things that could come up from your surgery or during your surgery that I wasn't quite aware of. So I'll be sharing, kind of when I first got my rods in, what the experience was like in surgery, or leading up to surgery, and then after surgery, and where I'm at now. So, so to get started, I was in a car accident about 20 years ago, and I broke my femur and my tibia. They didn't know at the time that my tibia was broken, so I just had the rod put in my femur. I was sent home, and for 3 weeks, had to start walking and things like that, but the whole time didn't know that my tibia was broken. So I was sent back. Obviously, I went back in for a checkup, and I kept telling them about my tibia, but they thought it was just part of the healing process. And finally they x-rayed and they said, oh, it's been broken this whole time. So I went in and had emergency surgery, and they then put the rod in my tibia. So about 10 years after I had my car accident, I had the screws removed. The screws were bothering me in my knee and in my ankle. I could they were just bothering me. I could feel them in there, and I can't remember exactly everything, but they definitely were bothering me. So I had those removed, and that was a smooth surgery. Everything was fine, and no issues with that, with walking afterwards or anything. And then leading up to this surgery, so about 3 years ago, I was talking to a friend about the effects of metal in our body, and she had shared some information with me about that and about metal toxicity and the side effects from that. So I started doing some research because ever since I had my car accident and my first surgery, I've struggled with anxiety and depression, and and I had other things come up that I didn't know if it was related to having metal in my body. I had eczema on my hands. I've had this feeling of like I'm plugged into an electrical socket, extreme energy, feeling like electricity or energy. It's hard to describe, but it was feeling like being plugged into an electrical socket. So I started doing a little bit of research. I found some people who had shared that same sort of experience, feeling like they're plugged into electrical socket. People who had metal in their bodies and had some effects from it. And also anxiety and depression, all of that can be a side effect. So I was curious if everything I was going through, things I was experiencing, if they were actually side effects from the metal. Also, I just felt in my spirit, in my heart, in my soul, that I wanted to get the metal out. after I started doing some more research, and just I'm just an advocate for myself for being natural. And you know, I wanted to have a natural, just natural body, have everything out of it that wasn't supposed to be there. So, and I completely completely understand that some people can't have the metal removed. So I had studied a lot of that and had looked into it and decided that that was what I was going to do when it was the right time. And so so it's been 3 years, you know, just waiting till I had the right insurance, the right work schedule, the money, all of that. And the time came about where it felt like it was the right time and things worked with my schedule. So I went and saw my surgeon, who is a really great, amazing surgeon, and you know, told him, and he was like, okay, you know, the normal way the surgery goes is you'll be walking really soon after, within a week. You might need crutches for a little bit, you know, for a few days, and just no extreme sports for up to 6 weeks. He said that the surgery is pretty easy. He did tell me, he said there's no glory in hardware removal. That was one thing he said. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And he just, I don't know, he never really gave me super like explanation about that, but I just was like, okay, interesting. So so he did x-rays and he saw that everything looked okay to be able to remove the rods. So we went ahead and went forward with the surgery. And so I'll go through, like, when I woke up from surgery, I was I was in a lot of pain, and I was telling the nurses, you know, I'm in a lot of pain, and they said, okay, well, we'll give you more pain meds. She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, I just saw that you were in surgery for hardware removal, and I didn't realize what he actually had to do. So I didn't give you enough pain medicine. So she ended up giving me more. Then the surgeon came in and said that he ended up, the rod in my tibia, because I had had the screws removed about 10 years earlier, the bone had grown into the holes where the screws were. So the rod would not come out of my tibia. He had to pound on it for a long time. And that was the other thing. I remember looking at the clock, and I had went in for surgery at like 12:30, and it was like 5. And I'm like, wait, because the surgery is only supposed to be 2 hours. So he said that he had to move my patella tendon to the side and bang on the rod. By the way, look up tibia rod removal surgery if you're interested to see how the surgery is done. And the femur was smooth. Everything went okay with that. It was just the tibia, because my femur screw, like in my butt area, it was still intact. Like, he never took that out when he took out the other screws. So so there wasn't the hole for the bone to grow in there. So he said he had to pound on it for a while. He had moved my patella tendon to the side to be able to do that. So I was in a lot of pain. So recovery has been really rough. So it's 3 weeks. I still am not able to walk without crutches. And I just had my follow-up appointment, and the patella tendon, because it was moved to the side for so long, had a slight tear in it. So now I know I won't be fully healed for another 6 to 8 weeks. I have physical therapy starting on Wednesday. and it's been really emotional and unexpected. So it's not something that I thought of or I knew. I wasn't really prepared at all for that. So yeah, I just felt the need to to share my story, put it out there, and I'm gonna keep updated on kind of what's going on with me, with my healing, kind of document some of it. And I do want to show, so this is the tibia rod. There's like still bone in all the holes. It's really interesting to look at, like how amazing are our bodies. Like the bone just grabbed right onto there. And then this is the femur rod. So another thing was like, it's a lot bigger than I thought, a lot thicker, and yeah, just heavier than I imagined. The femur, in case you're on here because you're getting your femur rod removed, was really easy. There was a little bit of pain and soreness. There has been in that muscle, right there, right by there. And I've had to work on waking it back up. So, you know, getting like clenching it and holding and stretching and doing things like that. So ideally having your rods removed, you know, shouldn't be a hard surgery, but there are possible, you know, things that can happen to extend your recovery. And if you do have, if you've had the screws already removed and now you're getting the rods removed, just be aware that that's a possibility, that your bone has grown into the holes and it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. Maybe that's something you can talk to your doctor about, whether you want to go forward with it or what happens when he gets into surgery and if he finds out that that's what's, you know, what's going on. My surgeon said he got to the point where he was going to give up, you know, and just leave the rod in, and then finally it came out. So, you know, it wasn't a possibility we ever thought about beforehand. I don't know what I would have told him either way, like if I had the choice. I'm glad that it's out, but it is hard to have, you know, now I'm still not able to walk. I need help every day. So that is tough. And especially like I live alone, and so it's a hard thing. So yeah, but overall, I mean, I'm really excited to see once I recover and how my body responds to not having the metal in it. I plan on doing some detoxing and just kind of see. I also forgot to mention, I felt soreness from the metal in my bones. I could feel it. And I also had a sore knee from the tip of the tibia rod. Like this is before surgery. So that was those were two other factors that contributed to getting the surgery, to like deciding to go forward with it. So yeah, and I just support whoever is thinking about doing it and they want to, just for your own health, well-being, maybe they're bothering you, whatever. But I wanted to post this video in case someone found it and needed to hear or wanted to hear some more. I'm totally open to answering questions or anything that anybody has. And yeah, I guess that's it. So I'll come back on and do another follow-up. Maybe we'll see if any changes happen within the next week after my physical therapy, and just share that experience. So, all right, well, hope you're all having a good day and sending lots of love and blessings and on this journey, and I'll talk to you later.